Oh shit, that's why.
Why am I recording this?
John Wick 3. I suppose John Wick Parabellum is good enough to undo the damage done by the despicably boring John Wick 2. Or John Wick Chapter 2, whatever. Cats. The first John Wick was so great because he was the boogeyman, and all the ruthless bad guys of the world cowered in fear of him. Then the second John Wick ruined its own mythology, and suddenly everyone forgot who he was. And $7 million was apparently enough to warrant killing yourself. Wave after wave of bad guys shamelessly diving to their deaths against a man they know they cannot kill. Didn't any of these people see the first movie? Didn't you just watch Wick murder 400 of your friends? It made no sense! Plus, the first John Wick benefited from a great revenge story involving an adorable puppy. And then in the sequel we had coins and the Continental. Who gives a fucking shit? The inventive and colorful lighting and camera work from the first movie were gone. All that dragged on was ugly and dim and shaky action. So very unwatchable. It ranks as one of the worst sequels I have ever seen. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it one of the worst sequels ever made. Later entries and stories are supposed to expand upon their lore. Hell, even just continue it for God's sake. Chapter 2 destroyed its own property and was a boring, useless movie all the way through. But Parabellum is good, although it does suffer from some of the same problems that 2 did. If John Wick 1 is a great movie and 2 is a useless piece of fucking shit, then Parabellum is somewhere in the middle. It picks up right where the second one ended. John on the run from the organization he once retired from. The one he came back to. The one he murdered a member of the High Table of. On the Continental's grounds. Is any of this ringing a bell? Didn't think so. Don't pay much attention to the story. There isn't one anymore. Wick's been excommunicated. That means no more help or services from the people he knows and once worked with. Everyone is out to kill him and anyone who aids him. Now, the bounty is 14 million. Okay, let's just ignore he's the boogeyman and run straight to our deaths again. At least the bloodshed is a lot more awesome this time around. Where the fuck all this rain come from? Jesus Christ, man. You see, I wonder, this is what you can't plan for. I wonder if the camera can pick this shit up. Like, you know, when I'm doing laundry, you might hear that, these raindrops. I'm a lazy piece of shit. Why didn't I record this in the morning? Why did I wait until right before work, which I have to still do a workout because I rested yesterday. I'm just getting lazy, and I thought I quit caffeine, but here it is. A large latte. I'm so bad at this. Oh my god, I'm just so bad. I'm not funny. This is not good. So you can turn off your thoughts for this movie and let the choreography wow you. Wick kills a man with a book in a library, and then has an extended chain of fights with some guys. It involves a lot of knives, and maybe is my favorite action set piece in the whole trilogy. Just fucking amazing. Like, it was amazing. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. God, I mean, the beginning might be my favorite part in this whole movie, just the first 10 minutes. The violence we've come to expect from the Wick movies is heavily over the top, veering close to animated levels of blood and gore. Parabellum delivers on those grounds and makes up for its lackluster storytelling. If you go to this movie just for the action, then you'll be satisfied from the opening scenes alone. Halle Berry is in this movie. Why? I don't know. She's so very hit or miss in all her career. I love her in Cloud Atlas, but I love everything about Cloud Atlas. But here, she's just Halle Berry. But I guess her name's Sophia, and she has a dark past with John. I do like how it's only revealed a little in their seated conversation. Her dogs are cool too, and so is the pendant that they used to make those blood pacts. Or favors, or exchanges, whatever. Now I said that this movie has some of the same issues as 2. It does. Parabellum drags into boredom during a couple of its action scenes. Maybe it was 2 or 3 times. But I felt myself zoning out more than once. They just go on way too long sometimes. Hint, it's right after Jerome Flynn shows up, Bronn from Game of Thrones. Yeah, we get it, there are consequences. This shootout didn't need to be 15 minutes long. Wick finds himself in the desert. Am I to believe this man he meets is the head of the High Table? Or the elder above it all? Because I can't believe it. Unbelievable letdown of a meeting. More stuff to make you care less about what happens. But I like how John pays penance here, and how he pays penance earlier on to another old friend he visits. Through the movie is the Adjudicator, appearing everywhere to judge the actions of the people who helped John along the way. She's pretty bad. I wish the filmmakers had done something, anything interesting with this character. But alas, she's just there. To judge and punish. Don't care. I don't care. I really don't fucking care. The movie was directed again by Chad Stahelski, and shares the same writer who has been working on the whole trilogy. One of the best moments in Parabellum comes when an enthusiastic hitman, who tries and very nearly almost kills Wick, is called to stop by a higher authority. As they wait for what happens next on a couch in the Continental, the hitman proudly confesses what an honor it is to meet the infamous John Wick. His inner fanboy comes out, and you realize he was a fan of Wick's before he was called in to kill him. This is the filmmakers acknowledging how awful Chapter 2 was, and is their way of winking at us to say, see? We remember he's the boogeyman, see? It's wonderful when artists improve their work by recognizing the mistakes they made. Everyone makes mistakes. The very best know they have, and move on to improve themselves. It is only the worst people alive who think they are above criticism. Anyway, what does Parabellum even mean? I had to look this shit up. Apparently it's some type of gun, but it's also Latin. A phrase said near the end by Winston, which translates to, prepare for war. Yeah, sure, buddy. He says something, he's like, blah, 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 Parabellum, and it's like, if you want peace, prepare for war. Blah, 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 blah. Parabellum. The final showdown also goes on forever, and shows a big weakness this franchise has is that John Wick has no arch nemesis. It's just more wave after wave of mediocre assassins, but sometimes great ones, like the fanboy, and two more dudes who pause in killing Wick to proclaim their adulation, at least one of whom was in the Raid movies. Parabellum has already smashed at the box office, and in less than a week has already almost outgrossed the other two movies. That's insane! John Wick 4 is coming. It's already been announced. I hope next time around they find someone scarier than the boogeyman, or at least can make this so-called war more epic. Because this movie ends where it started, but not before going back and forth a couple times, and being slightly different than before. But it's all good. I love how his pitbull eagerly waits for him in the hotel, and how he runs at the end is too adorable for words. Let's hope they do away with all these bounties and rules and adjudicators. Maybe John can start his own league to counter the high table. And maybe then we can get rid of those fucking coins. You know what else is awful about the second movie? Because in the first one, it's all this, legendary fear of this great retired hitman named John Wick. The bad guys are scared of him. And remember when the son guy, or whoever, Alfie Allen Theon Greyjoy, kills the dog, and the guy's like, you fucking killed John Wick's dog. It's like, I saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. With a fucking pencil. You hear that and it's amazing. It's like these whispers and you don't know if it's true or not. And then the second movie, it's killing all these useless bad guys. John Wick actually does kill 3 dudes with a pencil. And it just takes away that your imagination had that in the first film of how terrifying he was. What the fuck? And it just takes away from how terrifying he was in the first movie. And, sometimes it's better just to hear things rather than be shown them. I know you're supposed to show, not tell, but... Oh, I lost connection to the internet. Oh, the power went out. That's... Okay. Well, at least the camera's still working. Yeah, it's not connected to anything, but the battery's dying, whatever. But him telling Theon that is... I keep calling him Theon, Alfie Allen. Him telling him that was showing us, because it's putting... You see the fear in that mob boss's face, and you're like, holy fucking shit, this guy really is the boogeyman that he's talking about. And then to see it happen, you're just like, okay, it's just another choreographed fight scene with people that don't matter. These useless hitmen that Wick is going to kill 500,000 of them, whatever. And it just sucks. It fucking sucks. I better turn this off.